Thank you so much, the Lost Lectures, for inviting me. Hope you guys are having fun so far. My name is Dena. I'm a singer and songwriter. I'm from Bulgaria, and I live in Berlin since about 10 years. I wanted to introduce you to a topic that I don't know if you're familiar with, this very special cultural phenomenon. It's also a little bit like a political and social phenomenon, very popular in Bulgaria and in the Balkan area. It's actually most of all a music style, and it's called Chalga. Chalga is also another name for pop folk. It's also a phenomenon that kind of started after the wall came down. And basically, it's a music thing that is very inspired from, basically it's taking the rhythmical inspiration from folklore elements, but synthesizes the whole idea of like traditional Bulgarian folklore music through cheap keyboards, so-called synthesizers in Bulgaria. It's always like very interesting, like keyboards with presets and like integrated rhythms and everything. And primarily it started during the communistic era, but like it wasn't the favorite music of the communists. It was kind of actually rather forbidden in Bulgaria. But then when the wall came down, everybody basically went crazy. And it started a little bit like a wedding music, but then quickly transformed to a club kind of scene. And ended up being actually the most popular sellout music right now in Bulgaria. It's a little bit comparable to the Bollywood phenomenon and like this kind of industry. Yeah, it's, what can I say? Like the three most important topics, as far as I could say, about this music are money, sex, and fun, which is kind of, yeah, it's like a very universal thing, I would say. But it's very interesting because Chalga, like aesthetically, developed from this super DIY kind of thing in the 90s. Everyone was working with like videotapes and just going out there and simulating luxury and success. This transformed into this crazy high-budget industry right now. It's a very, like, in my opinion, like for what I do, I think this kind of like transition and like this development definitely was an inspiration for the works that later on in my life I started to create. I'm just gonna give you, like I was thinking of just playing snippets of 3 legendary tracks from the 90s, just to give you an example, just like a quick overview of what was actually happening. So this song, everybody knew that song, like I totally grew up with this chorus. The song is called White Mercedes, Change. Change means, in that case, I can actually just play it and talk. I think it's gonna start. Okay, so this song is super legendary in Bulgaria in the 90s when I was growing up. Basically, it's about this woman who is being chased by a white Mercedes in her whole life, and that's her like she's cursed by that tragic kind of thing. And she's basically like saying, "Oh my God, like everywhere I go, there is this white Mercedes behind me." And the thing is, but she's saying though she's not selling herself for money, and she's not selling her love for money. Not selling her love even for foreign currency. And the story is basically that she's saying that her mother sent her to the exchange bureau to exchange some Bulgarian currency, but they didn't have any dollars. Can I actually stop this for a second somehow? Yeah, great. Oh, did I stop the whole thing? Okay, let's just see. Like the thing is that the political situation in that moment in Bulgaria was kind of pretty fucked up. We're talking about a situation where the Bulgarian currency wasn't worth anything. Like basically, if you had Bulgarian money, like it wasn't worth anything. So what people were trying to do is as soon as possible try to exchange it to a foreign currency so that they can at least have dollars or Deutsche Marks. So a lot of those songs are basically based on the topic of you having to find a way super quickly to secure your money, like, and basically convert it to dollars or Deutsche Marks. And in this case, she's saying that she went to the exchange bureau, but there weren't any dollars anymore. And instead of this, she met this guy with the white Mercedes, and he winked with an euro and was like, hey. And she was like, oh, cool. Another legendary one is this one. So, check this out now. Okay, so she was just like, boss, they're calling you on the mobile phone. Every kid knew that. Like, I kind of totally have this in my head from back then. Like, never forget moment, basically.
Pronto.
And he's like, pronto. So there's this other... Okay, I'll explain in a second. So this is like the male power presentation now. Just want to check the chorus.
Oh, tigre, tigre, imaš li pari, imaš li pari, ljubavi ženi.
I'm gonna explain in a second.
Oh, tigre, tigre, nemaš li pari, nemaš li pari, stari babički.
So basically, this song, like that chorus, this song is only like a chorus. And like being a wrestler was kind of the thing that you could do if you wanted to be a successful guy in the 90s. Being a wrestler or a security, like a bodyguard type of guy. And those guys were basically like the executors of the other, like the invisible guys who were kind of making, like being on top of the deals and everything. So they had all those like wrestler guys working for the bigger guys. It's a little bit hard to explain. Anyways, like those guys, like the song is called Tiger, Tiger. And those two singers are basically saying, Tiger, Tiger, do you have money? If you have money, beautiful women. If you don't have money, old women. It's like, what the fuck? And then like in the next chorus is like, if you have money, new cars. If you don't have money, old cars. Like, okay, that's a little bit the message of it. I mean, I'm not even, like my point actually is not even to crazy like make fun of it or something, but just what I want to do is like reflect, like give you a different kind of angle of like what the actual political and social situation was there in the 90s after the wall came down. I think it's a very interesting connection to the talk that we just heard. Like it's very interesting from an European point of view to just be like to, I don't know, like historically be able to take a glimpse and culturally like in different regions of where we are all living in. So it's kind of my point of interest in Chalga. So here is a snippet of like musically the ultimate legendary instrumental jam. Just want to play it for 1 second, just for you to hear the beauty of this. It's incredible musicians actually.
часа за Chalga Party.
So it's called 7050, which is basically 10 to 6. It's a clock, like it's the time. It's the Chalga party time. It's like 4:20, but for Chalga. You know what I'm saying? It's really like this orchestral aspect of the whole Chalga culture. I think it's amazing because it's really so much about playing and having fun and just killing it. There are no lyrics in that one. Everybody knows what 10 to 6. They're killing it. So we have this other guy. This video is actually, that wasn't popular at all. I just found it on the internet, and it's kind of a, like, I think it was really like a very independent kind of thing. It wasn't like on a major label or something, like the other ones were. So what I really found super fascinating about this guy here and the song is that it's basically all about Adidas, but he's having Nike all over the place. It's like, what? And like, I realized, like, also growing up and moving to Berlin like 10 years ago, I also realized how I was influenced by this whole culture of fake brands. Actually, growing up and not really knowing like what you're wearing, like is it original or is it fake? Basically, the most relevant question for us all, like growing up, was like, "Oh, I have new sneakers," and every time the first thing was like, "Is it original?" Like that was what counted. It's not like, "Is it Air Force One?" or which kind of model of it. The thing was all about like, "Is it original?" Because all of us just like grew up very close to this whole, like where the whole fake production is being manufactured. And it was way easier to basically put your finger on fake brands and fake trousers and sneakers than originals. So yeah, and then suddenly I realized that there is a guy who kind of made a song about brands. Wait for a second. It's great, I mean. The star transition. I mean, and then, it's crazy, and then like Nike. And then the girls. It's so crazy. She's like, it's great, I mean, sorry, I'm stopping this now. So we had too much. It's just, like, I think this is what it was about. Like, do you have those sneakers or don't you? Like, doesn't matter what brand at the end, and like Adidas with 4 stripes or what exactly. I just want to give a shout out to my friend from Bulgaria who did this Tumblr blog. He basically made this archive of Chalga music. That's the address, Chalgatropolis. It's really, it's this like crazy archive of very like special, never seen and unreleased like 90s videos. If you guys are interested, you can totally go educate yourselves about the topic there if you're interested. And yeah, it's crazy because like what I was just showing is kind of a retro, like that's the retro vibe, that's like definitely the 90s Chalga. And then fast forward 25 years later, we're talking about like the craziest, like the biggest industry and money generating system in Bulgaria. There is one label in charge of the whole music production, like really imagine Bollywood. It's more or less, this is what it is, like one production company and everyone, like they have all the artists signed and all the gear available. Like, I was on their website. They have the most incredible gear list. Like, they have also an own TV and radio, and basically they rule the whole situation. And this is how Chalga parties nowadays look like. Like, throwing napkins in the air is how you do it. Like, all those parties, like, it's so abstract to me. Like, basically a friend of mine told me about the napkin situations a couple of years ago. I didn't even know that it escalated big time. Like, it's more or less, it's crazy. Like, at the end of the day, you're in this sea of napkins. And so yeah, this is how stars look nowadays. Like, nowadays everything is next level, photoshopped and crazy happening. I can just play you. Like, this is my favorite video from 2 years ago. This is what's happening like nowadays, basically. Like, crazy. Just playing a short snippet. The crazy thing about this video, sorry for stop, like, bummer that there is no pose with a picture, but just want to say that the revolution, like the legendary moment about this video is that you see wrestlers on high heels at some point, which is the ultimate like gender switch. Like, me and my friends totally flipped out that it's finally like freedom, like power to the people in Bulgaria, like the fact that, and also in the whole Balkans, the fact that this is the aesthetic of it is like this. Anyways, like, maybe it's like, I'm just gonna skip for a second because I think I'm running out of time, like big time. Yeah, just like, so the thing is, fast forward also, like my personal story is that I moved to Berlin, studied here, was writing music parallel to the whole studies. And at some point now, especially now, doing this presentation for today, I realized that I must have been influenced or kind of like brainwashed by this type of music since my whole life, like without actually realizing it. Because at some point, I wrote a song called Cash, Diamond Rings, Swimming Pools. I was like, wait, like this is totally like the Chalga kind of vibe. But I didn't really realize that we did this video here in Neukölln, went to a flea market, interacted with people. And I don't know, like now, this kind of like, I had this enlightenment moment that was probably all connected in my head the whole time. I just wasn't realizing this. And then 1 year later, I kind of reflected a little bit more on this aesthetic and this whole like phenomenon, and went to Bulgaria actually, and shot a video there for a song I had called Guest List. That was kind of like my inspiration for the song. Like, because the thing is, like, Guest List was a song about 3 things. Like, the first aspect was borders, because, you know, growing up on the other side of the wall, like, it's such a bummer. I mean, like, you grow up and never know what's on the other side. Like, and now Europe, everyone's like all together and everything. But definitely you can always say, like, if you grew up without chocolate and without like original Nikes or something. So borders were the one topic. So we went, because I'm from the border town, like in the geographically where Bulgaria, Turkey, and Greece meet. So I basically grew up with always seeing that it's Greece over there, but we're not allowed to go because it's European Union, and we weren't. And then it was kind of crazy when 2007 Bulgaria joined the European Union, and suddenly Turkish friends, like no one can come so easily to Europe. Like everyone has to fill out like all those visa entrances and complicated forms and everything. So like 2 years ago, I definitely was like, let's go to Bulgaria, and just, I definitely want to reflect on the borders aspect of everything. My second topic was prom nights, because prom nights in Bulgaria are 100% related to the Chalga culture. Like going on your prom night is like this girl there, it's a regular, like a prom student. It's her before her prom. Like, this is happening right now in Bulgaria. It's this week, like, it's such a coincidence that it's like this week. If you go to Bulgaria today, you'll be like, what's going on? Like, everyone is drunken in like limousines, and you have this crazy contrast of people going crazy about Chalga and like with all those costumes and everything, and people spending incredible, like so much money, their parents giving to the kids to celebrate, like to feel like this star and like to be this Oscar kind of Chalga Oscar version for a night. And yeah, and my third topic was, as I said, this like branding situation with like what is real, what is fake. We kind of simulated this over here a little bit, and I definitely had my nails painted like this for the video. That was kind of my secret, I don't even know, like it was my European Union shout out. And the scene that the director I worked with, he found that real life 90s street scene from Bulgaria. We kind of did like try to, we were definitely 100% inspired by this and did this for the video. That was kind of the crazy stunt vibe. And yeah, the song is called Guestless. You can kind of, I don't know, check it on the internet or something. And yeah, basically, I'm finishing things off now with a last. This is a remix, like a special customized Chalga remix from my friend Stefan Goldman, who's a Bulgarian but lives here. He kind of grew up here, an amazing electronic musician. And 2 years ago, like when I put out this song called Cash Diamond Drink Swimming Pools, he was like, we need to make a Chalga remix. So he produced that. So I was thinking we guys can have maybe like a small Chalga party over here. I brought some napkins we can throw in the air and just basically have fun. And thanks so much to Lost Lectures.